Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Make It Yourself. So this is the second part of the tutorial on how to crochet a owl wall hanging. The link to the first part will be available in the description box. Also you can find the first part in my channel. So let's continue from where we have stopped. Now we are going to make the wings of the owl. So we are going to mark the 2 points on either side. So this is the stitch which is the last stitch, which is right at the end after the popcorn stitch of the first row. So we'll be marking it either with a marker or a yarn of different color. So this is the last stitch of the row just previous to the popcorn stitch, and on the other side this is the first stitch which is available just before the first popcorn stitch. So these are the 2 points which we'll be marking, and it will be used for it will be the starting point of our wings for the owl. So we'll start off by making the wing on the left hand side first. So we'll take out the marker yarn and insert our hook into it, and we will connect our white yarn into it. We'll just pull it through it, and once we have pulled it through the marked stitch, we are going to chain 1, and into the same stitch we are going to make 2 single crochet, and this is the second single crochet. So now the next stitch into which we'll work is the last stitch of the ear of the owl. So it need not be, you need not try to find the exact stitch. This will just be the last stitch at the end of the ear of the owl. So here we will be making 3 single crochets. So total of we have 5 single crochets. We made 2 single crochets in the first stitch and 3 in this one. Now we are going to chain 1 and turn our work, and from now on we'll be working only in the back loop. So we're going to make 2 single crochets together or a decrease in the first 2 stitches. So we pull through the first 2 stitches and then we pull through all the 3 stitches. So we have made a decrease here, and into the next 2 stitches we'll make one single crochet each. So 1 single crochet in this stitch and 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And now into the last stitch we are going to make 2 single crochet in the same stitch. Now we are going to chain 1 and turn. So again we are going to work in the back loop, and here we are going to start in a reverse way. That is, we are going to first make 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Then the next 2 stitches we will make 1 single crochet in each of it. Our first single crochet and our second single crochet, and the last 2 stitches we are going to make a decrease. So we pull through the first one and into the second one, and then we pull through all, and then we chain 1 and turn. Here a way to remember it is, whatever is the last stitch we used in the previous row, we are going to start with that stitch. So since we ended with a decrease, we are going to start the next row with a decrease. So here we are making a decrease for the first 2 stitches. Then we are making 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and the last stitch will be a 2 single crochet in the same stitch. Now since the last stitch is a 2 single crochet in the same stitch, after we turn, as I said, we'll be starting again with the same stitch. So we're going to make 2 single crochet in the same stitch again. So we're going to repeat this pattern in a similar manner till we have a total of 10 rows. So after 10 rows we are going to chain 1 and turn again. So once we have turned, we are going to first make one single crochet in the first stitch, a half double crochet in the next stitch. So here again we are working only in the back loop, one double crochet in the next stitch, one treble crochet in the next stitch, and in the last stitch we are going to make a double treble crochet where we yarn over 3 times. So once this is done, we are going to chain 1 and turn again, and then we are going to make 2 single crochets together in the first stitch, and we are again working in the back loop only. Going to make 1 single crochet each in the next 2 stitches and 2 single crochet together in the last stitch. So we are going to chain 1 and turn again, and as I said, a way of remembering this pattern is whatever stitch we have ended the previous row, we are going to use the same stitch. So we're going to make 2 single crochet in the same stitch, then 1 single crochet each in each of the next 2 stitches, and we're going to make a decrease in the last 2 stitch. So we're going to repeat this same pattern, and we will do this until we have a total row of 20. So we'll count the row from the beginning till the end, and we should have a total of 20 rows, including the middle row where we have increased the height. So including this row. So including this row, we should have a total of 20 rows overall. So once we have 20 rows, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and this will be our last row of the wing. So here we are going to insert a hook into the back loop of each of the stitches and pull out a loop. So we'll be pulling out a loop through each of the stitches, and then finally we'll pull through all the stitches and then chain 1, and then we can trim off the yarn. So our wing on this side is done. So we'll start working on the wing on the right hand side. So here we will be working in a bit of an opposite pattern. So we will not start by working on the marked stitch. We are going to start by working on the stitch which is right above it, that is at the end of the ear of the owl. So we are going to start here. So here we are going to pull our white yarn through it, and then we are going to chain 1, and as on the other side we had 3 stitches in this one, so we are going to make 3 single crochet into the same stitch. So we are doing the same pattern, just we are doing it in the we're doing the same pattern like the other side, but we're just doing an upside down pattern. So we have 3 single crochets on top, and into the marked stitch now we are going to insert our hook, and here we are going to make 2 single crochets. So after that we are going to chain 1 and turn, and for this side also we will be working only on the back loops. So in the next stitch you are going to make 2 single crochet in the same stitch. Then in the next 2 stitches we are going to make 1 single crochet in each of the stitches, and in the last 2 stitches we are going to make a decrease, or we're going to do 2 single crochets together. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn, and like I said, whichever stitch we ended we are going to do the same. We're going to do a decrease first, and then we're going to make one single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to make 2 single crochets in the last stitch. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to start with 2 single crochet in the same stitch or an increase. So we are going to repeat this same pattern, and like on the other side, here too we are going to first make 10 rows. So here we have, as you can see, we have completed the 10 rows. So after the 10th row, we are going to chain 1 and turn again. And now we are going to make 1 single crochet into our first stitch, and then we are going to chain 4. So this chain 4 is like a double treble crochet. Next we are going to make 1 treble crochet in the next stitch, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, then a half double crochet, and then a single crochet. So on this side we're doing the reverse of what we had done on the other side. So we're going to chain 1 and turn again, and always remember we're working only in the back loop. In the first stitch we're going to make an increase or 2 single crochet in the same stitch. Then in the next 2 we're just going to make 1 single crochet each, and for the last 2 stitches we are going to make a decrease. So the last 2 stitches we are going to stitch in together, chain 1 and turn, and we are going to repeat the same pattern. So we're going to do a decrease starting, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2, and in the last we are going to do an increase or 2 single crochet in the same stitch. Chain 1 and turn. So we're going to repeat the same thing, same pattern till we complete a total of 20 rows. So here we have completed a total of 20 rows. So both our wings are completed. So now we are going to make the last row of the body of the owl. So before that we are going to finish off this wing, and we are just going to pull out loops through each of the stitches. Just insert a hook and pull out a loop through each, and then we pull through all of them, and then a chain of 1. So now we are going to make the last row of the body of the owl, and while doing that we are also connecting the wings to the body. So into the first space we will make a slip stitch, and then we are going to make a chain of 3. So this chain of 3 is the first double crochet for our popcorn stitch. Next we are going to make 4 more double crochets in the same space. So with this first popcorn stitch we have also connected our wing of the right side. So here, since the chain of 3 was our first double crochet, so into the third stitch we will insert our hook, and then pull the loop of the last double crochet, and then we are going to make a chain of 2. So after that we have 4 more spaces, so we are going to make 4 more popcorn stitches. So we have completed a total of 4 popcorn stitches. Into the last space we are going to make 1 more popcorn stitch, but while doing this we are going to connect the wing of the left hand side also. So here we are going to make first 4 double crochets, And while making the 5th double crochet, we're going to insert a hook below the space and into the wing, the first stitch of the wing of the left hand side. So we are going to connect that as well as shown in the video. We're going to pull a stitch and then make a double crochet here. So after making double crochet, as usual, make the popcorn stitch, insert into the first stitch and pull the last loop, and then make a chain of 1. So here we have completed the body, so we'll leave a long tail and then trim off the yarn. So this long tail will be needed later to connect the owl to the branch. So we'll leave a long tail there. So now the owl is almost completed. We need to make the eyes for it. So this is the outer part of the eye. So here we're going to make a magic ring, but we are going to make 3 rounds around our 2 fingers. After that we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to make the 20 single crochets over the ring. So we have taken made 3 rounds of the yarn around the fingers so that we have a thick base for the eyes. If you do not want to do this, you can buy plastic rings and then start making these 20 single crochets over the plastic ring itself. So here I'm making 20 single crochets over our magic ring and then slip stitching at the end. So after that we're chaining 1, and for the next round what we're going to do is we're going to make, since this chain 1 is the first single crochet, so into the next stitch we're going to make 2 single crochet, and in the next stitch we'll be making 1 single crochet, and in the next stitch 2 single crochet. So we'll be repeating this pattern of 2 single crochet followed by 1 single crochet for this entire round, and everything we are doing in the back loop only. So once we have reached the end, we are going to slip stitch it to the back loop of the first stitch. Now we're going to make a chain of 3, and then we are going to slip stitch it to the back loop of the next stitch. We are again going to make a chain of 3 and then slip stitching it to the back loop of the next stitch. So this is an additional step, like if you want you can just make the circle and stop it, or you can do this chain 3 and this will give better look to the eyes. So at the end of the round we are going to slip stitch it to the base of our chain 3 of our very first stitch. So we'll make a chain of 1 and then we can trim the yarn. So you can leave a long tail here also, so you can use this tail to stitch the eye to the owl. So you're going to make 2 of this, and now we're going to make the inner part of the eye. This is also not a mandatory step. You can directly use the outer part, and inside it you can just stitch in a glass bead. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a magic ring around only my index finger and then make a chain of 1. And while making the magic ring I have taken around 3 rounds. So over this too we are going to make single crochets. So here you do not have any specific count, you just have to make enough single crochets to cover the entire magic ring. So just keep making single crochets over the entire ring. And also this is something which I'm making with cotton thread and a hook of size 1.10 mm. So at the end we pull our loop this way we pull the thread and cut off the yarn, and we insert our glass bead into it, and then we fold it and we attach it to the opposite side. So you can also use a needle to stitch it to the other side. I'm just using the same crochet hook to pull it through to the other side, and then we can make a knot here. So just make a knot so that the bead is fixed to the center of this yellow ring. So this will go inside the white part of the eyes. So you have to make 2 of this. So now let's make the nose. So this nose is also optional. If you can buy long bead which looks, or you can buy the artificial nose, you can use that. Here I'm making it, so you can also use it. So we're going to make a magic ring, and into the magic ring you are going to make 6 single crochet. So then you pull the magic ring and close the ring as tight as possible, and then into the first stitch we are going to slip stitch it. So this is black yarn and it is a bit difficult to see the stitches. We're going to chain 1, and for the next round we are going to make 2 single crochet in each of the stitches. So since we have 6 stitches in the first round, so after the end of this round we will be having a total of 12 single crochets. At the end we slip stitch and then we chain 1, and for this round we're just going to make 1 single crochet in each of the stitches. And here too, at the end of the round we will have 12 stitches because we did not do any increase, and we're going to slip stitch it here, and then we are going to chain 1, and for the next round also we are just going to make 1 single crochet in each of the stitches. So we're just increasing the height of the of our work. We're just increasing the height, and next we're going to slip stitch it to the first stitch, chain 1, and here we're going to start decreasing. So what we're going to do is, for the next 2 stitches we're going to make 1 single crochet in each, and then we are going to make a decrease. So we're going to make 1 single crochet in one stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then the next 2 stitches we are going to make a decrease, that is 2 single crochets together. So we'll do this 1 round of decrease and slip stitch at the end, chain 1. So here we're going to do again 1 more row of decrease. So here we're doing 1 single crochet and then 1 decrease. So we're going to make 1 single crochet, and the next 2 stitches we are going to decrease. So into the first one and into the second one and pull through 1. So we are going to decrease. I do this 3 times, and again at the end of the row we are going to slip stitch. Now chain 1. So we are going to turn this inside out so that we can hide the tail yarn. So after turning it inside out, we have this small pouch kind of thing. So into this we are going to insert the filling. So after inserting the filling, now we are going to make one more row, and into this row we are just going to make one single crochet in each of the stitches. At the end of the row we are going to slip stitch it to the first stitch, and then chain. Okay, so this is the last row, so we do not chain one, we just going to directly start a decrease. So we're going to decrease the first 2 stitches, then again we're going to decrease the next 2 stitches. So here we just want to make the edge as narrow or as small as possible, so decrease it as many times possible and pull the yarn and chain one, and you can trim off the line. So we just want a bit of a pointy edge here. Then yeah, so for the eyes there's no specific pattern on how to stitch the eye. You just have to position it correctly over the eye area, and then you're going to stitch it in. So we had left a tail yarn, so using that tail yarn we are going to just stitch it into the stitches available at the back. So we're just going to go in a up and down fashion with the needle, and just going to stitch in the eyes. So while stitching, just make sure on the back side you are able to insert it into the stitches there, and the eyes are actually attached to the stitches behind, otherwise they might come off. So here I'm inserting through the strings here. I'm just going up and down with the needle and just making sure that the eye is securely stitched to the face. So now with the nose also, we had left the tail yarn at the tip. So with that we are going to insert it, and we're going to place it in the center, and at the bottom we're going to insert it and pull it and insert it to the top, and stitch it in a few more times. You can turn it over and maybe stitch it from the other side, which will be easier. So if you just stitch it few more times to the back of, or to the stitches at the back, and then put a knot. And then make a knot here. And you can hide the tail yarn into the existing stitches, and then trim off the yarn. So the nose is fixed. So into the center of the eye we are going to place this yellow ring with the bead. So just use the tail yarn or use a similar color yellow yarn and stitch it in. So here we have attached the eye also. So now our owl is almost ready. Next what we are going to do is we are going to connect the strings at the top. So here I have made a string which is nothing but just chain stitches, and you can make it as long as you want, and you can use a big needle and stitch the ends to the edge of the head here. So now to the base, we are going to add these yarns as the tail of the owl. So you can cut the strings and then fold it. So you can have around 10 strings of yarn and then pull it through the space between the popcorn stitches and then make a knot. So pull it through the space again and try to pull all the yarn at the same time. If not, you can pull out individual yarns and see which of them are loose and try to make it tight. So just give a tug at each of the yarn and see if any loose yarns are there. They'll get pulled and the knot will be tight. So we need to do that for each of the spaces here. So between the popcorn stitches we are going to do the same thing, and the tail here is ready. So there may be few yarns which are longer than the others. So to level them up, we are going to use a scissor and trim off all the excess yarns or the length of the extra yarn. So now we are going to attach the owl to the branch, and on this side we have a tail yarn available. So we are going to put it through a needle and then we are going to stitch it around the branch as shown. So we can do this 3-4 times and this will look like the claws of the owl. So we're just going to wrap the yarn around the leg and pull it tight, and using the needle we're just going to stitch it around the branch for 3 or 4 times, and at the end we can go and then place a knot. So we are going to place a knot on the back side so that it will be hidden. So we're going to place a knot here and then trim the yarn. So all the tail yarns we can stitch it into the existing stitches after we have completed the project. So on the other side we are going to use a new yarn and then we're going to pull it through the end of the wing, and first we are going to place a knot, and we are going to place a knot on the back side. So we will place a tight knot here at the back side, and then we are going to use the needle and again pull it around the branch for 3-4 times so that it looks like the claws of the owl. And once we have done it a few times, we can then place a knot, and this knot should be on the back side. So here I have made the branch using skewer sticks. I have combined 3-4 skewer sticks and then used a green tape to cover and join the skewers together. On the grey owl I have used a branch which I found lying around, and that too I covered it with the green tape to give it a better look, and I have attached some crochet flowers as you can see. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Do subscribe to my channel and also leave a comment on how you found this tutorial. Click on the bell icon for notifications of future videos, and please give me a thumbs up if you found this video to be useful. Thank you for watching and have a great day.